Hey, Tap here. Week 2 is finished. Today is Reflection Sunday. The look back on last week, Whispers Behind My Smile, a 12-week program, a journey within. It's 12 weeks that I'm spending with myself to nurture myself, an abundance of love and care. And I'm focusing on some areas in my life, but the general theme is nurturing myself. So I'm in week 2. Week 1 was all about setting intentions, figuring out what areas of your life did you want to focus on for the next 12 weeks, understanding and defining your why. Week 2 was being aware, just cultivating that awareness, understanding your patterns, what you're doing, what you're not doing, why you are or why you are not doing. It wasn't about fixing anything. It was really just about being aware, being intentional, being in tuned, being aligned with yourself. Today being Reflection Sunday, I decided that I was going to take a look back and share that with you. It was hard for me. I have to say, I'm used to being in solution mode. I'm used to triaging. So every day that I did focus, because I'm going to talk about that next, but every day that I did take a look at what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what some of my patterns are, what some of my routines are, some of the routines I want to put in place, why do I want to put them in place? Do they really fit with where I am right now in my life? And that's the question I keep asking myself, because it's ideal to put together the wish list, the to-do list. It is so easy to write it down on paper and think that, yeah, this is it. But even understanding your why still doesn't mean that what you're writing down on a piece of paper or in your notes app makes sense until you really sit down and look at your life. How do you flow? My word. How do you flow from day to day? How do you flow from hour to hour? Do you have a static job where you are 9 to 5? Do you work shifts? Is it nights? Is it days? Do you have other people in your life, your partner, your cat, dog, budgie, fish, whoever you're responsible for, your kids, right? What's their routines like? Are their routines incorporated into your routines? These are all the things that I had to take myself through last week. It was interesting. What I did learn about myself is that trying to do nothing and just observe put me in a uncomfortable space of feeling like I wasn't doing enough. And that was a little bit of a struggle for me. Downplaying that. It was a real struggle for me. I wrote in my journal every day, like I do way before I started this program. But even as I was writing in my journal, I was trying to fix the patterns that I was or was not seeing. And that wasn't the purpose of last week. We're still building a foundation that we're going to work from beyond the 12 weeks. So it was really important for me really to just observe and ask myself questions along the way, but not to solution, just to make sure I really am being intentional. I am really in tune. I am really aware of my habits, my behaviors, my routines, my cycles, my flows of life. And last night I was on the couch with the journal, and it was one of those moments where it was quiet. You know, the cats and my daughter and myself, we were all on the couch. We pretty much spent almost the entire day there. Between my MacBook Air and my notebook and another notebook and another notebook. I was in a zone. I was in a good space, and I was doing a lot of the reflection I'm talking about right now. I actually started that last night when I was planning out my week ahead. So this week coming up is all about reconnecting with self. And I'm going to do a separate video on that just to make sure that that one is clean and separate from this. I will probably link it. Maybe, I'm not sure. Right now it's Sunday night and I'm recording this, and I feel like I could probably do week 3 recording right after this. So we'll see. But looking back on week 2, I wrote something in my journal that I'm actually going to share with you folks. So the journal, trusty journal. The look back. At times I feel like I'm in a battle with myself. I have had this many times before, but this feels heavier. Maybe because I'm being more aware, more in tune, and being intentional about having myself under self-evaluation. That's the hard part. Standing in front of the invisible mirror, looking at myself and asking myself questions about why do I do the things I do, or why don't I do the things that I do. There's parts of me that are happy. There's parts of me that are sad, but I'm organically shifting and I'm going to be okay. But this week has been a tough one. Yeah, there's more there, but I'm not going to share that right now. If you're interested in joining me, drop me a message and let me know. Whispers Behind My Smile. It is really a focus on self. And I chose 5 areas of my life, and I should mention that. So the 5 areas I've chosen is mindfulness, movement, nourishment, body and soul care, and my home. And as I'm going through this journey of sorting myself out, putting myself together, making sure all the pieces fit for where I am at this phase of my life, it looks different from the phase I was in before. And I'm more open to understanding what all of the changes are. Some of them are sad. Some of them are sad because I'm no longer the version that I was comfortable in, although I was still uncomfortable in that version as well. But at the same time, I know that I have to continue moving forward. I have to continue to grow. I have to continue to evolve. I have to continue to allow myself grace, and I have to trust the process. This is not something you do overnight. 12 weeks is the start of it. You know, these first 4 weeks is really just me building the foundation. I'm not trying to solve everything in the first 4 weeks. I have a number of weeks still to go. I'm just about to start week 3. And I have to say that the look back, like that battle with myself, because it's really easy for me to just close up the notebook, say I'm not going to do this anymore, and go back to regular routine because it's comfortable. It's familiar for me. But I know that I don't belong in the places and spaces and some of the people. And it's not because they're bad. It's just that where I am and where I'm evolving to, my mindset has shifted. My focus has shifted. And I want to know that I have like-minded individuals with me at all times to help nurture me as I'm trying to nurture myself. So I'm going to get ready to tap out here because I think I'm going to end up recording week 3 right after this. We'll see. But as I get ready to tap out here, I just want to say, give yourself grace. If you're doing this, if you're doing your own journey of self, whatever you want to call it, if you're even calling it anything, I'm going to say, actually, before I tap out here, another thing I notice about myself is that I'm not tracking my progress. And this isn't about checking boxes. This is about being, again, intentional. And life is going to be in the way, right? We all have responsibilities. We have partners and pets and kids and jobs and responsibilities and expectations and requirements. All of that doesn't get to go away because you're going to spend 12 weeks on yourself. Really, it comes down to you integrating what you're trying to do for yourself amongst all of your other responsibilities and obligations. What I found last week was that if I didn't sit down and make a concerted effort to say, this is the time I'm carving out to focus on myself, to do what my focus is for the week or from what my focus is for the day, I found that I was kind of wishy-washy when I was looking at things before I went to bed at night. So part of what I do plan to focus on as I am reconnecting with me in week 3 is to put together a little bit more of a routine to check in more frequently, just so I'm not kind of loosely, lazily going about it. I really do want to make sure that I'm staying intentional. And that means multiple checkpoints throughout the day just to keep myself grounded on the day, as well as what I'm trying to do for myself. As I get ready to tap out here now officially, if you're interested in joining me, drop me a message. For me, Whispers Behind My Smile is really focusing on within. It is nurturing myself. It is giving myself self-love. It is focusing on some areas of my life. But the most important piece to this is giving myself love because I know that I don't do it enough. So me tapping out now and pressing the button is asking you to prioritize you. Ask yourself, why aren't you? And how can you, even if it's one small thing, what can you do for yourself to put you first, to prioritize you, to remember that self-love really is the best love, because once you love yourself, you can love everybody and everything else around you. So I will talk to you all again soon. Peace, love, and blessings.